Bulls and bears, firsts and largest. That's the what this table up here shows you. You'll notice that you'll have 6 rows here: bull first, bull largest, bear largest, bull any, bear any. So, several months ago, before I started this program, I tested out different indicators to make predictions based on certain indicators. I like the RSI indicator the best. And what I would do is I'd make a prediction. The RSI indicator thinks it's going to go up tomorrow. And what happened was it instead of going up sometimes it would go up, a lot of times it would, but sometimes before it went up it would go down and then up. And so I would claim, "Hey, it works. RSI, I know how to read the RSI indicator." But there's a big problem with that thinking. The problem is that sometimes it goes down and it goes way down. Like here, let me zoom in a little bit. Um, yeah, like here it goes way down and then it comes back up. So I might say, "Hey, I may have predicted it's going to go up, and I may have, on paper, anyways, paper trading said it was successful." But what happened is it first went down, and the problem is that in a real life, if it goes down and keeps on going down and keeps on going down, you're going to lose a lot of money. So people have what they call a stop loss, and I totally believe in stop losses. That is, if if the stock goes down below a certain point, you want it to automatically sell. You want to minimize your losses. That's the key. Please use stop losses to minimize your losses. That is, you buy here and then you put an order the next day. Let's say you want to try to catch a profit up here, but if instead it goes down and goes down and goes down, and you just don't know, so you put a stop loss and say, I want, if it goes down below a certain price, to automatically sell it, even though I'm going to lose. And that's okay. That as long as your losses happen, at way less than your frequency than your profits, your gains. So really, what I said I wanted to do is I wanted to get some predictions that would not just predict whether it went down and came back up again, but what happened first. I guess if we zoom in a little bit more in this day, or just zoom in more, if you look closely, you'll see a line there. Zoom in a little bit more. Beginning of this day, this is the end of one day. The beginning of this day, it spiked up there, boom, and then came back down and went down here. What happened? Actually, what happened first this day was it spiked up. So if you were trying to predict that it dropped in price, and so you put an order in here, and it really spiked up, and so you'd have a stop loss here. But if you put your stop loss up here, then this little spike up wouldn't be okay. Wouldn't have hit, and you would have come back down and made your sell down here. So when you deal with stop losses, you try to put them so you don't lose too much money, and so that, I guess what I'm saying is, I think that's all I had to say about stop losses. The important part is that what I'm trying to get, is what happens initially. So I would like to know what happens first. You can see for the rest of the day it kind of goes down long term. Bar, we're down. So when you look down here, you'll see some predictions, okay? And one of them is called first up, and it's 100%. This guy's like, I think it's going to go up. And sure enough, it did. There's also something called a largest prediction. It's like, I don't care if it goes up, or I want to know what the largest one is. So in this case, if you look at the profit, it's 37 cents. And in this one, it's 50 cents. So in this case, the real largest one was down. This one predicted the largest one would be up. But still, 37 cents up, 50 cents up. They're pretty close to each other. So largest one wasn't too bad. At any rate, all three of them predicted it was going to go up. So the bet would have been, the prediction would have been it was going up. And so if you bought here, you said, I'm going to predict it's going to go up. Boom. So in the chart back up here, we have different categories. Bull first, bear first. That's what I'm talking about. What occurs first? We have bull largest, bear largest. And then we have bull any, bear any. In this day, look at it. It did a bull and it did a bear, right? But in this day, here's the closing. It went down a little bit, so it really didn't do a bear. It just did a bull. So what that is, some days it'll do both bear. It's split. It'll do a bear, split day would be like it went up and it went down. So that's what the any category is. And that was kind of like at the beginning I told you that I made a prediction that it would go up, but really what happened is it went down first and then came back up. So what would happen is on that particular day, it had been a bear first and a bull any. Does that make sense? It had also been a bear any. So those are the 6 categories. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, here's a category that's kind of interesting. Because if you just had this category right here, you might not. All you need to be successful in this predictive stuff. What this is saying, for example, 80%, that on 80% of the days, see the days in a chart, 80% of the days, you'll get a bull any. So if you're saying, hey, I'm over here, I'm going to predict that it's going to go up because it's 80% bull any, you can win just based on that. So this column here, small little column, very important. Take a look at. So those are the 6 categories: bull first, bull largest, bear largest, bull any, bear any. And that's good for this video.